Hey, man.
What is up?
Have you ever heard of the i-400?
Is it a race?
No.
Oh. Is it i-400?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I saw the prequel to that, though.
What?
300?
Wrong. Very wrong.
Things I learned last night. TILLN it.
Which I never watched that movie, actually.
Neither have I.
Because there's a nudity scene in it.
I did not know that.
Literally the only reason I've never watched it was because it came out when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And it was just vilified because it had a nudity.
Interesting.
And now, I mean, like everything on Netflix has a nudity scene in it. So
It's accurate. It's accurate. They're just ahead of the curve.
I don't
They're
know if
innovators.
I don't know if that's if that's the angle I was gonna say, but I mean, like, that is the reason I didn't watch it.
That's interesting.
Not because of the violence or anything, but because there was.
I didn't watch it because I honestly just wasn't interested. Everybody talked about it, and I saw the previews, and I was like,
the only thing I know
good.
about it is the I am Sparta kick because it became.
You can't not.
It became
was
a meme before memes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do we both have the chip?
We both.
Turn off the lights.
All right.
Okay, no, the i-400. It's
Okay.
a calculator made by Texas Instruments.
I hate. Why is this a thing? Why are we talking? Okay.
No, that's a joke. It's a submarine.
Oh my! Really? Dude, I was like straight up ready to talk about a calculator. I was like, all right, I guess. Oh my gosh. Okay. I believed you.
I know you
I
did.
hardcore believed that.
i-400 sounds like a calculator.
Okay.
We're math teacher's like, make sure you get your
What
i-400.
was the calculator we all
What
had
about
to
a
buy?
T84? I think a T84.
Is that what it is?
TI-84. Because TI
Instrument.
got into making calculators for a minute there, in between his third and fourth
Texas
album.
Instrument is not in Texas. You and I
think you
have
might be right.
driven past the building
Yeah.
where they make the calculators.
Yep.
I remember that. Is
Yep.
it in Texas?
I think it's headquartered in Texas, but they probably build them somewhere else, you know?
We have driven past the building they make them in.
I'm sure we have. Which we went through Texas a few times.
Yeah,
so
but I'm saying
probably.
anyway.
Anyways. Yeah, so Texas
So it's a
Instruments is an American technology company headquartered
Is it
in
actually a calculator?
Dallas, Texas. No, it's a submarine.
Oh, okay. We're just on a tangent. Okay.
Get it? Tangent calculator. Oh!
Cool.
That was another. Hey, you're wired in. Okay. All right. I'll see you later, man. So Texas Instruments is a calculator company headquartered in Dallas, Texas. They make calculators. Big surprise. Your math teacher might have required you to have them in high school because your math teacher was contractually obligated to sell a certain amount of calculators every semester to high school students, overpriced calculators that did the same thing as the $20 calculators. But they had a contract with the U.S. government that forced everybody into... Oh, God. Get that cat away from me.
Buddy.
You're the worst. She's like, I'm out of here.
Come on.
Get out of here.
Oh, what was that you were saying about whatever you were saying? Okay, I'll put you down.
Okay. Your cat was not a fan of that.
You
My
weren't
face
either.
won't be in a minute either.
Yeah. That's what you get for doing what you did. Tim's very allergic to cats.
That's what you get for doing what you did. You don't even remember what I did
I think
anymore.
I'm sitting on my headphones.
That's what you get for doing what you did. There's cat hair flying all over the air. Oh, come on.
All right. Did you tell, while I was gone, did you tell him about Texas Instruments or the submarine?
I was telling about Texas Instruments.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So the submarine.
The submarine. So this is actually really cool. This is the world's first, and I'm pretty sure only, submarine aircraft carrier. And it was developed in Japan. Can you guess the year? There's only 2020 to choose from.
What?
if you don't count BC, because they probably didn't build a submarine aircraft carrier.
Oh,
in BC.
there's only 2,020 years to choose from. I thought you were saying the only option is 2020. And I was like, well, that narrowed it down, I think.
No, yeah. Yeah, what year do you think they made it?
Submarine aircraft carrier?
Yeah.
I want to say during one of the world wars.
Okay. Which one? Make a pick.
1938.
Close.
Really?
Yeah.
What year?
It's just, you gonna guess again?
Okay, 1939?
Close.
What? 40.
Close.
42.
Close.
Yeah, I swear we're going to do this whole thing and you're going to be like, 2017. I'm going to be so mad. What year?
It was actually 1943.
Oh,
So you were really
I
close.
was actually kind of close. Well, I wanted to say that not because like I actually believed that's when it would have happened, but because like
Yeah.
it seems like it would be insane for it to happen in the 40s.
Yeah.
That's pretty far
It is pretty
advanced.
insane. It is pretty insane. So here's what happened. It was built by Japan. And I found this out while researching this. I never knew this, but did you know that the reason they attacked, why they attacked Pearl Harbor? Japan.
No.
So Japan, during World War II, their whole thing was there's a massive war going on right now, so let's just take over every island in the Pacific because now we can. And so they saw it as an opportunity. They were like taking over Malaysia. Like they were invading just all this land and doing a land grab. And they were like, Japan realized pretty quickly, they were like, we're not going to be able to do this for long before the U.S. is like, hey, you got to stop that. We're the U.S. and we're the police of the planet.
That's a no-go. That's
Yeah, you don't do that.
bad.
Bad army. And so they were like, we gotta be like, hey, just let us do what we're doing. So their solution was attack Pearl Harbor. And the reason they did that is because
Was it to draw the United States into the war?
no, the
It was to
reason
try
was
to take over
to
Hawaii.
push them back because at the time there was supposed to be America's fleet of aircraft carriers was supposed to be at Pearl Harbor, but they mistimed it, and so they weren't there. And so their goal was to destroy the whole fleet of aircraft carriers, and then they would be like, okay, fine, we won't get involved. Was the vision.
Oh.
They mistimed it. The aircraft carriers weren't there. They also grossly underestimated how much America was going to be like, excuse me?
Yeah, they really did not do well with the whole American culture thing.
Yeah, they did not understand that we were
They were
gonna
just like,
be
oh yeah, we're going to poke
oh.
this bear.
Yeah,
and the
and
bear's going to be like,
expect
sorry, I was in
sorry,
your way.
might be, I'll get out.
You know, actually the bear was going to be like, oh, do you guys not have the chip? Sorry, we were in your way. Okay.
Yeah. They really, really underestimated that. So America got into the war, and that was the last thing Japan wanted. Like they had literally attacked us so we wouldn't get into the war. And then because they were like, if we get in a war with the U.S., we're going to lose.
Right.
And so they attacked us, expecting us to not retaliate. It was a weird strategy. It was a gamble. It was a roll of the dice. They lost.
It was
that
interesting
roll
because
of the dice.
America, because the United States didn't want to get into the war.
No,
And Pearl Harbor
well,
is what drew
That's
us
what they
in.
said publicly. They didn't want to.
That's
get more,
right.
Allegedly.
I mean, well, no, I don't think they did because it's kind of the same way with the Black Tom explosion or whatever, where it's like they were selling things to both sides of the war.
True.
You know? True. You sound like the Super Mario Brothers, like when you go into the castle. True. Or when you get to the ship at the end of the level. True. If I'm being honest.
But so pretty quickly, Japan was like, okay, well, that didn't work out the way we expected.
Right.
So let's try again. And so there was an admiral by the name of Isaruku Yamamoto. I'm pretty pronounced in my pronunciation of that.
You're pretty pronounced in your pronunciation of that. That
I wanted to say impressed, but I said pronounced.
That instills a lot of confidence, you know? And
anyways, Yamamoto, he said, okay, here's what we'll do. He's like, attacking Hawaii didn't work the way we planned. So what if we attacked a lot more things and then they say, okay, sorry, we won't be in
And
the
then
war.
they were like, what if we convince them, let's not actually do it, but let's convince them that we attacked Los Angeles.
Well, here was their idea. Their idea was to attack San Diego, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, New York, Washington, D.C.
The coasts.
All at once. All those cities all at once.
Oh, man.
But they knew that the U.S. was on high alert. Their surveillance was too good. They would not be able to get aircraft carriers to the shoreline without being caught.
Right.
And so Yamamoto's idea was, what if we built a submarine aircraft carrier? And everyone was like, that's a crazy idea. And he was like, let's do it. And then they did it.
It's just crazy enough. Yeah.
They literally did it. And so after, it took them 3 years, almost the whole war, to figure this out. Literally.
Like, we've got it done. And they're like, dude, we lost. And you're like,
They spent $28 million in 1942, whatever that would translate to now, to research and build these aircraft carriers. They built 3 of them. Their goal was to build 18. They got 3 of them done.
Wow.
And here's how they worked. It's actually kind of amazing. It was the largest submarine to ever be in the ocean. It was massive. Like, picture an aircraft carrier.
Huge. Yeah, obviously.
Bigger and underwater. And here's how it worked. It's really, really fascinating. They had these planes that were special built for it, that their wings folded inwards. Kind of like did you ever have those toys with the airplanes where you could pop the wings in? Those kinds of things. So the wings would pop in, and then the aircraft carrier would surface, and they built what was described as a catapult that would launch the plane. The wings would spring out, and then it would fly like that. Like, isn't that the craziest thing in the world? Like, literally catapult their planes off of the submarine, and they would fly away. And then what they would do is they had this crane arm, and so they would land. They had the remember that show on, what was it, Disney XD? I think it was Channel 99 in Colorado. That doesn't help you, but they had the planes. They were the bears that flew the planes, and they landed in the lake. You know what I'm talking about?
Is this a Berenstein Bears kind of situation where it's like you remember something that's not real?
No, Tailspin. You remember Tailspin?
No, dude.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You never watched Tailspin?
I don't know. Was that while we were at Evangel that you watched that?
You suck.
While we were in college?
You never watched Tailspin?
I have never. Oh, just kidding. I've seen that. But
Yeah.
Okay.
They
I
flew
saw
the
the kid looking cartoon bear over there,
Oh, no.
and I was like, that doesn't look familiar.
No.
But yes, Tailspin doesn't. Yeah.
But anyways, so in Tailspin,
Okay.
they lived on a lake, and they had those planes that could land on water.
Yes. Okay.
So that was these planes. They could land on water. They had a crane that would pick them back up and put them back in the hangar, and then they would go back underwater and be a submarine again.
Wouldn't that be just terrifying if you're just like on a beach vacation, right? And you're like in the morning, you're like having coffee on the back porch, and you're like, this vacation's much needed because my wife, she kind of sucks, and we've hated our kids for decades. And what's going on over there? What is that? A plane landing on the water.
What is that?
Is that the Loch Ness Monster?
What's coming up out of the
that's
ocean?
Huge. Where's that taking that plane? Debbie. Hey.
Debbie.
Then she takes forever because
Deborah!
I hate this lady. She's
Never going to believe
she's gonna
this.
miss it. It's going, and then she comes. She's like, "What? What?" And he's like,
You missed it. You missed it. It's whatever. It's fine.
And then like the rest of his life, he's like, "Did I see that,
Was that real? Did I really see that? Debbie didn't make it in time.
Debbie?"
Deborah.
He starts calling her Deborah to disrespect her.
Deborah, you didn't make it
She's like, "Wait, since when do you call me Deborah?"
since you didn't get out and see whatever I saw. I don't know what I saw, but you weren't there on time, Deborah. And so now, Deborah, I have to call you. You did this, Deborah.
And he's holding a cat against her, and she's like, "Stop it! I'm allergic."
So here's the thing. Here's where
That's crazy. The crane arm thing. Okay,
here's where this gets really interesting.
because it just disappears. That's
Yeah,
what's
and then it
terrifying
just
about the ocean.
Sinks under the water and just goes away.
I don't like the ocean.
And, yeah.
I don't like it at all. I'm a lake person.
that's even worse because you go in the lake. There's not an inch of the lake that you can see into the water and know what's underneath it. The ocean that you can see for pretty far, like
No.
along the shore, you can see.
Well, yeah.
On a not seaweedy day.
On a seaweedy day. On a sea Wednesday, huh?
It's a sea Wednesday. There's lots of seaweed out there.
Okay, go ahead. So
here's what's interesting.
none of what we just talked about is interesting. This is the thing that's interesting.
They while this was in development, while they were building it, they said, okay, we got to test this to see how close we can actually get with a submarine to the shore without them catching us. And so they took one of their existing subs. They took it out to LA and they surfaced. They launched a missile and hit a factory. And that, get this,
Battle of LA.
that was if you remember the Battle of LA episode, that was the explosion that put them on high alert. The next day was the Battle of LA. And so they were testing the waters there before they could do what would have really been the Battle of LA before they invaded with those jets from this
And
submarine.
they were like, you know what we actually figured out was that if we just shoot a test fire one day, they'll tear themselves apart. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so that was them testing the waters. They were like feeling out the waters, and that led to the Battle of
Okay,
LA.
that's pretty wild.
Isn't that crazy? When I realized that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's all connected. Everything's connected.
I just want to play the last 15 seconds of that where you just went, isn't that crazy? When I put it together, I thought, oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's like you had a conversation with yourself for a second where you're just like, isn't that wild? I thought about it and I was like, that's wild.
That was one of those things where it came out, and I was like, he's gonna make fun of this. I know it. And I was like, maybe I can get away. Maybe I can keep this.
Could
moving.
you have changed the word maybe? Like, isn't that crazy? I thought about that. I was like, that's pretty insane. Like, you could have literally just like, but you confirmed it for yourself. You affirmed yourself. And honest, all right.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. And so here's the thing. So all of the war, Japan's working on this top secret submarine. They built a couple of them, a couple of different classes.
Yeah.
They had a few designs planned, and their goal was to do this large scale invasion of all sides. And literally, like, it was a 30-minute thing. They would take off, the planes would come, destroy a few high-value targets, and just fly back into the water and just disappear. And no one would ever know where they came from or even what country it was.
That
That
pretty
was-
wild.
Yeah, it was pretty hardcore, insane idea. Well, here's what actually happened. We were also working on a secret weapon that was the atom bomb, and it was a little bit bigger. And we hit them first, and they were like, "Okay, all right, we're done." And then, and then, ironically, and this has led me. This has had my mind spinning all day since I found this last night. What are you laughing at?
No, just this morning I woke up and my head's been spinning, you know?
Yeah, ever since I found this last night. I saw it, I was like, that's crazy. This morning I woke up, I was like, man,
That's
this is
crazy.
crazy. You want to know where they built these?
Do I want to know where they built the submarine? Mm-hmm. Where they built it?
Yeah.
Yes, I do want to know, but I wanted to guess, but I don't have a guess.
Hiroshima.
Yeah. Okay.
And here's what's interesting. The U.S. claims they had no clue about him. The U.S.'s first documented
Knowledge
of it was 3 months after the war ended. Like after Victory in Japan Day, they were out near Hawaii and they caught him on radar and they found him. And it was actually the crew learned the war was over and they ditched all their gear in the ocean. They just ditched it all. And they were like, oh, we're just a large supply submarine. And so then the U.S. commandeered it and they were exploring it and they were like, this is not a supply submarine. This is an aircraft carrier. And they...
Now they have it.
Yep.
Well, the U.S. has it?
Well, I think they sunk it. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me double check. I'm pretty sure after they got it, they were like, we don't want this to fall into the Soviet hands. so we're going to sink it. Kind of like how all the Nazi scientists, we were like, we don't want these to fall into Soviet hands, so we're going to kidnap them and call them Americans heroes. But instead, they sunk the ship instead of made it an American hero. Similar concept.
What are you talking about?
Have you not heard of that?
Is that another episode?
I think we just found another episode.
Okay.
Tune in next week.
I don't think I knew what you're talking about just then.
Tune in next week. This will be a good one. I won't have learned this last night, but I can learn some more stuff about it.
Okay.
But yeah, this will mess your head up. Anyways, so yeah, that was the largest submarine that ever existed. It was an aircraft carrier, and it was the reason for the Battle of LA. But we beat them to the punch with the atom bombs.
Wow.
And then they were like, well, I guess we don't have to build this anymore.
And they were like, well,
yeah,
fiddle off, I guess.
That's
pretty wild.
Isn't that crazy? I thought that was pretty crazy.
Should we fiddle off? I think we should fiddle off.
I think we should fiddle off.
Hey, thanks for watching Things I Learned Last Night. If you like that, please subscribe to this channel or check out one of our highlights or other episodes because you'll like more of them. Good?
Great.
They will.
Maybe.